Ladies and gentlemen, Bradford City have announced their 6th signing of the 2025 summer transfer window, and it is definitely signing of the summer so far for Bradford City, and arguably the best signing in League One so far. Bradford City have completed the addition of forward Stephen Humphrys on a 2-year deal. He's turned down Barnsley, rumours of him turning down Mansfield, Wickham, MK Dons to join at Bradford City. This is a real statement signing. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. I'm aware it's a very late one, but if you could still hit 200 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Don't forget to get your thoughts in on this edition down in the comment section down below. Now, like I said, for me, this is an absolutely outstanding signing. For those not aware, I'm obviously unable to do a regular type video, so it's going to be a very raw reaction. I was hoping that when I saw the original notification come through while I was in the shower, that it was going to be maybe a Kieran Kelly contract extension, and then I could potentially get away with a live stream, but I can't do anything other than a video for a signing as good as this one. The article does then read, Humphries chooses Claret and Amber. Bradford City AFC is delighted to announce the signing of Stephen Humphrys on a 2-year deal upon the expiry of his contract at Barnsley. Humphries, 27, joins the Bantams with a wealth of experience in the third tier, scoring 52 times in 219 appearances, so around 1 goal in just over every 4 matches in League One, and also boasting 18 assists. The forward was part of the Wigan side, which won the Sky Bet League One title in the 21-22 season, featuring 38 times for Liam Richardson. Obviously, we've signed a lot of players from Wigan or have previously played for Wigan, having that connection now with David Sharp, but he switches to BD8 after a season at Oakwell, where he found the back of the net 9 times in 37 League One outings, assisting his teammates twice. Standing at 6'2", so again, bit of height coming into our side, the striker represented Hearts in the 2022-23 Europa Conference League, scoring away to Fiorentina. Humphries turned professional with Fulham, having initially spent time in Bury's Academy, and has also enjoyed successful spells with Southend United and Rochdale. He said, Bradford City is such a massive club, I consider it a sleeping giant really. We got a lot of them sort of statements when we're in League 2, but for him to still be saying that in League 1 goes to show the potential that we do have. He continues to say, I'm delighted to get it done so early before pre-season starts. Everyone saw the scenes last season on the last day. Obviously the club got promoted, just seeing those scenes made me want to be a part of it. Hopefully we can make more memories like that. Bantams boss Graham Alexander added Stephen will add genuine pace and power to our front line while giving us an extra goal threat with his finishing ability. I believe he has his best years ahead of him. After meeting with Stephen, I know he's determined and ambitious enough to put the work in to become an even better player. We are very happy to have him here, and trust me, Graham Alexander, the Bradford City fans are very happy to have him too. This move will obviously be subject to the relevant EFL clearances, and obviously Humphries is available to sponsor, but I just cannot get over how good of a signing this is for Bradford City. Obviously coming in on a free transfer, turning down a new deal at Barnsley. Some of their fans might have had the ambitions of maybe wanting to make it into the playoffs this season. For me, now they've lost Humphries, Davies Keeler Dunn and maybe Jack Shepherd are the only half-decent players at Barnsley going into next season. I think it certainly goes to show the trajectory that Bradford City are now on to pull in somebody like Stephen Humphrys. Yes, we probably offered him decent wages, and Stefan Rupp deserves a lot of credit for that. I've given him a lot of criticism for not investing into the club. It's clear last season and coming into this season, he's clearly putting his money where his mouth is, and this is a real coup for Bradford City. There's nothing other than for me to give it other than a 10 out of 10. I see absolutely no downside to this signing. In terms of his statistics from last season, in a little bit more detail, in League One, he played at 37 matches, starting only 26 of them. Barnsley fans, let me know down below, did he have struggles with injuries? Potentially. He played 2,289 minutes, where he did score the 9 goals, averaged a goal every 254 minutes, where he did miss 7 big chances but only had a 12% goal conversion rate. Obviously he registered 2 further assists where he created the 4 big chances. He had a 53% successful dribble percentage and won at 46% of his aerial duels. Now, I watched a compilation of Stephen Humphrys, which he posted himself on Twitter, from his 24-25 season highlights, and it certainly seems like his best football this year has come playing more as a left winger. So we could potentially see him in that Bobby Poynton role, for example. I think whether Humphrys is going to play as the lone striker, whether he's going to play as a partner in the front two potentially, or whether he's going to play as that left-sided number 10, I think it's a real good signing for Bradford City. A lot of the Barnsley fans have said while he was playing as a striker, didn't really have that quality, didn't really have that end product that you maybe expected expected Humphrys to have that we saw him from his time at Wigan, Rochdale, Southend, them type of teams. But when he moved over to the left towards the back end of the campaign, especially under Conor Hourihane, that's where he certainly seemed like he was thriving a little bit. So from that point of view, does seem like a very good signing for Bradford City. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. For me, like I've mentioned, a really, really good signing. When you look at some of the other additions we brought in where people were getting concerned about, oh, we've so many defensive signings, are we even going to bring in any attackers? But I think because obviously it's the hardest position, it's the hardest thing to do is score goals, they take a little bit more time, they were weighing up their options a little bit more. But what a signing this is for Bradford City. It's just annoying that it's come so late at night, kind of interrupting what I'm trying to get on with. So I've got a little bit of a personal confrontation to have here with our admin. If you could just give me 5 minutes next time. Maybe you could have announced this at 9 o'clock in the morning. That'd have been better for everybody. Obviously, we announced Ibou Touré earlier, an hour and 40 minutes after posting him in the away kit. Make sure to go check that video out if you haven't already. I can't show you how Bradford City squad is now lining up, but for now, I'm going to put Stephen Humphrys in that striker position just because of balance. There's less people in the striker options than there is in the number 10 positions, but obviously you won't be able to see what it actually looks like until maybe another week or so and we get some more business done. But obviously with pre-season starting on Monday, I feel like Stephen Humphrys is one of them players where he does need a full pre-season under his belt. I think he'll thrive having a full Graham Alexander pre-season under his belt, and I'm not really sure what else to add on top of that at this moment. That is the only slight problem with me doing all this on phone. There's no opportunity for me to edit anything out. But when Stephen Humphrys announced a couple of hours before we announced the signing, but he announced himself that he would be leaving Barnsley, you look at the replies from Wigan fans, from Hearts fans for example, all of them are asking Stephen Humphrys, you know, to come back home for example. But obviously the fact he's chose Bradford City goes to show our ambitions. I think out of all 4 of the promoted sides, we've definitely had the best transfer window so far, and I don't want to sound biased when I say that, but at Wimbledon they've obviously had a nightmare start to the window. Doncaster, I like the signing of Lota Tyler, I like the signing of Robbie Gotts. Other than that, I'm not really impressed with their business. Port Vale, off the top of my head, not massively impressed with their business so far. I don't think they've done much. They brought in the likes of Jordan Shipley, the likes of Liam Gordon. I don't think that massively stand out. Whereas Bradford City, we've certainly made a few real statement signings so far. I think the only signing we've made which has raised any type of eyebrows is Curtis Tilt, but I don't see him coming in and being a regular starter. You look at Stephen Humphrys, proven League One quality. Ibou Touré, proven League One quality. You look at Joe Wright, who's come in, you know, proven quality at this level and over in Scotland as well. Yes, there's some question marks about Curtis Tilt, but you look at Max Power, proven League One and Championship quality. I feel like I'm missing one more off the top of my head, but you might have to let me know down in the comment section down below. We're still yet to make any loan additions as well. With obviously the announcement of Ibou Touré earlier, I think it's very unlikely Teo Adaramola will be returning to the football club. In terms of further business still to be done, I don't think we're now a million miles away from completing our incomings. Obviously then further incomings will depend on outgoings, but I think we need a starting right centre back. We need another holding midfielder to compete with Max Power. Somebody like a Jamie McDonald on loan would be very nice. We could do with a number 10, but I don't think that's really a priority for us anymore. We definitely need one more striker. That is the main priority for me now. Another striker, then another centre-back, and then a competitor for Max Power in that midfield. But I think on the whole, it's been a really good transfer window so far. Pre-season's not even started. We're looking in a very, very strong position. I don't think it's now unrealistic to say, looking at our squad, that a mid-table finish is more than achievable for Bradford City. For our first season back in League One for, what, 7, 8 seasons, something like that, I think mid-table is, we're definitely not going down. If we go down, they can give me all the stick in the world. Unless we suffer a crazy injury crisis like what we had last season, I cannot see in a million years how Bradford City get relegated this season. Hopefully come May, that's not going to come back and bite me on the backside. But keep Humphrys fit. I think he easily gets 15 goals next season if he plays and starts 46 matches. Obviously we'll have the rotation, but he's that Andy Cook type of striker. He's that Anthony Sarcevic type number 10. It's a really, really good signing. Delighted with it. Credit to David Sharp, Ryan Sparks, Stephen Jen, everybody, Stefan Rupp for getting this deal over the line. 10 out of 10, absolutely brilliant addition. I'm going to leave it there for today's video. Apologies for the lack of quality and editing, all that sort of stuff. You know, it's not my usual standard, but it's the best I can do for the moment. If you have enjoyed, make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. 200 likes, as I mentioned at the start of today's video, would be massively appreciated. And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Bradford City signing Barnsley FC attacker Stephen Humphrys on a 2-year deal? Brilliant signing for me. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Go check out the Ibou Touré video as well if you haven't already. I'll see you very soon for another one.